What's up, my little goblins? Welcome back to my channel. It's Remy. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Remy. I'm an English major who loves books and yaps about them. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today I'm going to be doing an opinionated thought piece on how book influencers have shaped the book community from a longtime reader myself. This video was inspired by According to Alina. Love your videos, girl. And I know you've read the title and you're thinking, Remy, you're a book influencer. I am a book influencer. A very small one, but I am technically one because I make book content on social media. This video isn't going to be bashing book influencers or book talk or booktube or any of that stuff. I'm just going to be pointing out the way that social media has affected the book community and the publishing industry. Now, get a snack, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're feeling a little froggy, and let's get into it. As a person who's loved reading as long as I can remember, since I could read, honestly, since before I could read, I loved stories, I loved books, I loved being read stories, and then the moment I could read, I could not stop reading them. I loved books. So to see the book community come online, I was so excited. But then the pandemic hit, and a lot of people who have never read a book in their life unless it was assigned to them were starting to read, which is fantastic. It's great. Read if you want to read, but it was like a new adult readers who have never read before. Now, I don't want this to come across as, oh, well, if you haven't read your entire life, you shouldn't start reading now. That's not what I mean. I think everyone should start reading. I think you should go out and find your favorite genre, your favorite book, whatever, because I think everyone should read multiple books in their lifetime for fun, not for educational purposes, which you can for educational purposes, but I think reading for fun, it increases your vocabulary, your understanding of people's perspectives and the world and life. Reading is just an amazing experience, and I think everyone should experience it. But due to this rise in popularity in reading, book influencers were born. I was so happy when I saw people posting about what they were reading online and giving their thought. Ugh. I was so happy when I saw people posting about books, I was so happy when I saw people posting about books, the books they were reading, their favorite books, their book recommendations. It helped me find my niche on YouTube. For years, I've been trying to figure out what I should make my videos about, if they should be vlog and lifestyle, or if they should be just random tag videos that were trending. I could not for the life of me figure out what I wanted my YouTube channel to be, and this really helped me narrow down my niche. I didn't have a problem with the book community being online until I was in it. Now, we all know the internet is demanding, but these unrealistic reading goals is a big problem in the online book community. Comparison is the death of us when it comes to social media. And when it comes to comparing how much you read in a year, it is detrimental. It makes you feel so slow. Like, I thought I was the slowest reader imaginable, and honestly, I am kind of a slow reader, and I've accepted that now, but when I first started in the book community, I was like, I can't make videos. These people are reading 5 books a week. I could never do that. People are reading so many books a week, and they're pumping out these videos, and I could never do that. Like, I'm not going to be able to be a book influencer because I can't read 200 books a year. You don't have to read 200 books a year. If you need any confirmation or any validation, you do not need to read 200 books a year. I barely read 50, and I love reading. I've read my entire life. I'm just a slow reader, and I love to enjoy the books I'm reading. I don't like to just consume. And if you do, that's great. That's so great. If you can still remember every single detail of these books after you read 5 books in a week, I applaud you, because when I love these characters and I love these stories, I want to marinate in them, and I love to sit with them. And that's the wonderful thing about reading. Everyone goes about it in a different way. Everyone perceives these stories in such a different way. It is fantastic. I love seeing other people's perspectives on books that I loved or books that I hated or anything, like any book. What was your thought? I want to know. Like, even if I haven't read it yet, spoil it for me. Tell me what you thought of this book. And I want every nitty gritty detail. I love hearing people's book reviews, which is why I love the book community. But when it comes to social media, there's always a downside. And personally, I don't care how many books you read in a month. If you read one, that's better than none. All I want to know is, does it have spice? Now, I know we've all seen this online, heard it, seen it, said it. You know what it is. It has been this phenomenon on Book Talk mainly, but people consistently asking, does the book have spice? Even if it's a book that, probably wouldn't have spice. And then I saw people saying, I don't read books if they don't have spice in it. And it really just kind of threw me for a loop, which, you do you, boo, but I could not imagine not reading books just because they don't have spice in them. Because from my experience, a lot of the spicy books that I've read, there's no plot. There's no layers to the plot. There's no layers to the characters. It is a nothing read. I read it and then it goes whoosh in my brain and it fucking disappears. Those are the types of books that I read when I want to break from the gut-wrenching books that I love. But you know what? You do you, boo. If you love a no-plot, all-spice book, you read it, babe. You read all of them that exist because there is many. My only problem with the does it have spice epidemic is the fact that men are given more of a reason to kind of like hate romance books or kind of make fun of women for a hobby that they love. Because now I can't tell people that I love to read romance books without a man looking at me and goes, oh, you read those corn books? Sir? No. I do sometimes, but that's not my main read. I love a good book with character development and a cute love story. If there's a spice scene in it, a lot of times it just brings the characters together emotionally. It's not the entire book, okay? Listen. We're allowed to have guilty pleasures. Leave me alone. Like, what? I love spice in books just as much as the next girl, but it's not the only thing I read. And when I tell people one of my favorite genres is romance and fantasy romance, that is the immediate thing that they ask me. And I'm over it. I'm over it. And I know what you're going to say, Remy, this sounds like a you problem. And you know what? It is. But I love complaining. So I'm going to move the fuck on. And along with the does it have spice epidemic, we have people who are treating Colleen Hoover as if she is Shakespeare. She wrote Ellen. I am confident that the next sentence I'm about to write has never been written or spoken before. When he was wiping that cow shit on me, it was quite possibly the most turned on I've ever been. She's no Jane Austen, but I guess she's worth a read. Now, if this type of literature is your cup of tea, girly, pour yourself a cup. Do not pour me one, because I'm sure as hell am not drinking that. Hoover books are fundamentally bad. You can like them, but they are what they are. They're bad. They're types of books I probably would have liked in my Wattpad era and high school, but not now. As a fully fledged adult, no thanks. Let's not forget, she wrote, "You're responsible for the beautiful part, Rachel. The only thing he got from me was his big balls." She laughs. She laughs hard. "Oh my God, I know," she says. "They're so big. We both laugh at our son's big balls." And that was a romance about step-siblings. Along with the Colleen Hoover craze, I've noticed that people act like you can't actually criticize a book anymore. I noticed that when creators would give their opinion on their low-rated books, people would get extremely defensive, and it would lead to creators not wanting to talk about how bad the book actually was, and giving a false rating in order to appease, defenders of whatever author you're talking bad about. And I personally have fallen victim to this. When I first read Colleen Hoover books, I was like, oh my god, they're so popular, they can't be bad. There's no way they could be bad. And I like had these blinders on when I was reading them. Especially like Verity, there was just points where I was like, what the fuck am I reading? I kept giving myself excuses like, oh, it's supposed to make me uncomfortable. It's supposed to make me cringe. Only certain parts of that book are supposed to make you feel that way. Not the entire thing. I will admit, I liked Ugly Love for a small little bit. And then I sat with it and went, why do I like this book? And I reread quotes and I went, what was I on? And then changed the rating to a 2. The point is, the internet can sway your opinion because of the bullies, the people who act like they need to defend these authors. The whole point of putting yourself out there as an author is some people might not like your work. That's just, it is what it is. You know, new readers have bad taste in romance and love smutty books. Who cares? I can get past that. A few weeks ago, I was scrolling through YouTube and clicked on an According to Alina video.
The writing is so tiny. Second of all, why are the pages so filled with so many words? Like, what the
I just feel like you guys at this point are like, why do I follow her? Like, literally, what actual reading does she do? Like, she's not a trustworthy source at all, and you would be correct. Does anyone else skim read their books? And by skim read, I mean only read dialogue. Like, you don't read description. Because personally, I don't care what someone looks like. I don't care where they are. I don't care what they're doing. I care about the conversation.
I like pages that aren't filled with this many words. Like, literally, every page is like, look at this. Are you f***ing kidding me?
So what ended up happening is I'm sitting here reading this new book, and I turn the page, and there's a paragraph on the page this long. It goes from the top of my Kindle to the bottom of my Kindle. It's that long. And I skipped it, okay? I skipped it.
Okay. You got me there.
What? You're telling me you guys aren't even reading the book? So apparently I missed that a few months ago. Some book talkers were confessing that they skim their books and only read dialogue? I've been sitting here thinking to myself, I am such a slow reader. How are these people getting through like 20 books in a month? Apparently they're not reading them all the way. How can you give an accurate rating if you're not fully reading the books because the detail part is boring? That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I've skimmed books for assigned reading in school, but if I start skimming a book I'm reading for fun, I'm DNFing it. You think I'm going to waste my time on a book that I'm not even enjoying? And I know you're thinking, Remy, who cares? If they want to buy books and then waste their money and skim them, let them. And it's like, you know what? You're right. But personally, as a person who loves literature and is trying to be an author, it really hurts me. I don't want to put my book out there just for people to only read the dialogue. It's just really crazy to me that this is where we're at. That some people, there's too many words on the page, or the description of the world is boring. Don't pick up a fantasy if you don't like world building. And don't pick up a slow burn romance if you're just waiting for them to get to the kiss. Don't read if you're not enjoying reading. If you just want the dialogue, watch a movie. I don't know what to tell you. It really just baffles me that people are skimming their books and not actually reading them. And you know what? These I only read dialogue confessions brings me to the book aesthetic. Along with reading becoming popular now on social media, the book aesthetic has become really popular again. And what I mean by again is, if you watched According to Alina's video before watching this one, she talks about how book wealth and looking intellectual by buying books has been a thing for decades, since the printing press was invented. In my personal opinion, I think once learning became standardized and everyone could learn how to read, looking intellectual wasn't really as important anymore, and reading became a nerd activity and wasn't cool anymore. But now, because it has become full force back on social media, having a bunch of books and reading for fun is the thing to do now. Now that reading has become popular once again, book wealth has become a necessity. Along with this book or reader aesthetic has become the overconsumption core of book wealth. Book wealth is essentially having a big collection of books. And again, this is a way people make themselves look well read. A lot of these books on people's shelves, they have never read. They're just sitting on their shelves collecting dust. Now, I'm not a saint in this. I do this. I buy more books than I need. I love to have options. We all love to have options. But it is a problem. Capitalism has us by the throat, guys. As I was watching According to Alina's video, it got me thinking, where did all my books go? I've read my entire life. I should have a bigger collection than this. But I thought about it. When I was in school, I could not afford to buy books. I always read from the school library as much as I could. I would read books as fast as I could so I could check out a new one. And the books that I did own, I used to have the entire collection of Junie B. Jones. I lost while I was moving. When I was in elementary school, my mom was married to a military man, and I lost my books I owned while I was moving. And when I was in high school and I was able to drive and I had my own money, I shopped at this local bookstore, and if I didn't completely love a book, I donated it back because I got a discount and bought more books from them. And it made me realize I don't cycle out my books like I used to. I do big unhauls when there's a lot of books I don't enjoy anymore, but I don't do it as often as I used to. And a lot of this has to do with books becoming popular on social media and me changing my YouTube channel to become a book channel. I was gonna hold on to books that I didn't even like because I was like, I read this, so I should put it on my shelf. No, I had to let go, and I did. I don't have any more Colleen Hoover books. And this realization I had while I was planning out this video, it made me think I really should go to my library more. I have a library card. I need to find a local bookstore that's not Barnes & Noble. And as much as Barnes & Noble is better to shop at than Amazon, Barnes & Noble is fucking expensive. And I'm a broke college girly, okay? I need a discount. And if I can donate books to a local bookstore and help my local community, I'd much rather do that than sell my books on Pango or sell them to Second and Charles, who barely gives me any money for my books. I gave them 7 books and I got $16 out of it. 7 books! I was extremely angry. And speaking of the book aesthetic, there's a subgenre aesthetic called the thought daughter aesthetic. When I saw this first going around, I was like, what is this? These thought daughter books included classics and literary fiction to make these people seem as if they were reading real literature and not romance or fantasy. Due to social media and the ongoing popularity of reading has become very performative. It's like we collectively decided if you don't read 20 books in a month, you're not a reader. And just like everything else on social media, capitalism gets a hold of it. The price of books has changed the more popular reading has become. And it also could be inflation, but I noticed this change right after reading became popular. I could get brand new paperbacks as cheap as $5 to $7, at most $12. Now, I can't get a paperback cheaper than $12. Without a discount now. Sometimes, if you go on Amazon, don't buy from Amazon. They will have, 30% off. Now, if I go to Barnes & Noble, this book right here, $18. Okay, listen, this book a little thick. This is a very popular author. I understand. There were books as thinner than this, for $20. There's not even $20 worth of a story in that book, and you think I'm gonna buy it? No. Don't even get me started on hardbacks. Hardbacks are now $22 to $30. I used to be able to get them for $15. What happened? What happened? And why does every paperback have a sprayed edge now? Why does every book have a special edition? What is going on? Along with book prices going up, publishing companies have been hopping on trope trends. In a recent Destiny Sidwell video that I watched, she discusses how she feels like some authors pick tropes and then write a book based on the tropes rather than organically adding in the tropes as they write the story. And honestly, I agree. I honestly think tropes are overdone and books are not just written for the love and passion of storytelling, but for merely a paycheck. Capitalism is always getting it while the getting's good because in the era of social media, fads fade every day. But you know, that's just my opinion, and opinions are like assholes. We all got one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit different. I want to do some more videos like this. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those YouTube things you know how to do, and I will see you when I see you. Bye! And was deep in the hole of the book community. Deep in the hole. Now, if Colleen Hoover is your cup of pee... cup of pee...